faces, speaking into a dictaphone. Roisin's 6-year-old brother,
Ben.
feeds pickles to Goldie, an old cocker spaniel. Ignoring the festivities, birthday girl Roisin, a tomboy stuffed into a prickly lace party dress, peers forlornly out the front gate. Isabel clip-clops down the road, her favourite silk scarf fluttering in the breeze. Patrick follows behind her with the horse box.
No sound of letter?
No?
Where is she?
She's on her way. She should be here any minute.
So what was so important that she had to tend to today? She's the hostess. She should be here already.
She will be. Any second now.
Ben, look! Mommy did get the horse!
As she nears the gate, Isabel recklessly throws her head back, digs her heels in. Mr. Ed sails over the front wall, landing a few feet in front of the children.
Mr. Ed has arrived!
God, I thought you'd been run over.
Always the worrier. I told you I could do it. This is, after all, the birthday gift of a lifetime.
Oh, you can say that again. But why didn't you just bring him in the horse box?
I wanted Mr. Ed to get to know me.
Well, by now, I'm sure you're intimately acquainted.
Now, children, we'll have no pushing, please. Roisin's the birthday girl, and Mr. Ed is her pony. She gets to ride first.
Goldie, the dog, races to Isabel, vigorously biting her tail. Isabel plants a series of noisy little kisses on the dog's head. Horrified, Rachel turns to her no-nonsense sister.
As if a dog wasn't enough. Now a horse.
She's English. What do you expect? They love their animals.
It's a pity they don't have the same regard for the families.
It's a mushagast riding a horse or through traffic like that.
Everyone else has a party at the zoo. No, not Isabel. She has to buy the whole for custom pony.
Fern Hills, sitting room, evening.
Margaret, a letter to Gerald Sweeney re cost of mattress filler.
Oh, Sammy! Haven't you done enough work for one day? We hardly even saw you at the party. Can't you forget about mattress filler? Just for one evening.
It's the party I can't forget about. The food, the champagne, the flowers, the pony. I can't even bring myself to calculate the expense of it all.
That's the problem with you Goldsteins. Always worrying about the expense of the expense. Your family just don't know class when they see it.
No need for you to get all high and mighty. My father arrived from Lithuania in 1904 and travelled the length and breadth of the country.
With a horse and cart, rain or shine, I know the story inside out.
Well then, show some respect.
They don't show me respect, Sally. They call me a sugar behind my back in my own home. I hear them.
Don't be so defensive. That's just their way. They don't mean anything. They mean no harm by it.
If only Papa could have been here, would have loved it.
Well, there'll be other parties.
Mrs. May is leaving here next week. Next month, you know. Remember what we talked about?
I gave you my word. He's always welcome here.
Isabel turns on the gramophone. Frankie Valli's, you're just too good to be true.
I'm sorry I got cross. It was a wonderful party, darling.
Fern Hills, master bedroom, night. Samuel awakens and reaches for Isabel, but her side of the bed is empty. He tiptoes along the hallway, opening bedroom doors and peeking inside each one. Fern Hills, garage doorway. Samuel peers through the darkness past the bales of hay, feeding buckets and tackle. Standing in the far corner is Mr. Ed, with Isabel curled in fetal position beside him. Next morning, she wheels her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, run few drops of milk splash across the table. Teresa briskly pours Isabel a cup of black coffee and sets a plate of burnt toast in front of her.
What's all this racket about?
Ash, you know what they say. It's only spilled milk. No point in crying over it, is there now?
If I've taught her once, I've taught her 100 times. Hold the spoon like a lady. No.
Well, you didn't exactly get a good night's rest, did you, Pat? What possessed you to sleep in the garage with the pony?
I heard him crying.
Do ponies cry then?
If they do, only your mother can hear them. Now, come on, children. You better get a move on. You don't want to be late for school.
Isabel continues her feverish chopping until her plate is smothered in breadcrumbs. Noon. Isabel sits at the table, still nursing a coffee, an overflowing ashtray within reach. She pulls on a Rothmans and languidly blows smoke rings into the air. Goldie is perched on a chair beside her. Isabel pops little pieces of crumbled toast into the dog's mouth. Teresa sorts through bundles of clothes littered across the floor and pulls out 2 men's suits.
These are the dry cleaners, missus?
Oh no, Lizzie. Those jumpers and dresses are for... No, so they're for Maisie. And the jumpers and dresses too.
But the mister will have a connection. But there's plenty of life left in these clothes. Are you sure you can spare them?
Oh, Teresa, darling. Stop getting your knickers in a twist. He won't even notice. You know, he would wear the same 2 suits all year round if I let him have his own way. He didn't even believe in underwear before he met me.
Jesus, Mrs. Will you stop?
Frankly, I don't know why my mother let me marry into such a family.
Not much she can do about it now from where she's at. And anyway, he's not the worst.
No, I suppose not. Now, come on. Let's get a big bundle ready for Maisie. She has 12 children. 12.
You have a heart of gold, you know that, Mrs.
The doorbell rings.
Maisie.
A traveller stands on the doorstep. 3 bedraggled little girls cower behind her.
Can you spare us any change?
I can do much better than that, Maisie. Teresa, bring the clothes out, please.
Teresa hands her 3 bags.
Oh, thanks, Mum. You're a saint, you are. I'll be sending a prayer for you tonight.
Samuel's factory. Golden Sons. Day. Samuel walks through a bustling factory floor with
Mangus.
his bulldog of a floor manager.
How's the order book looking there, Mangus?
Not much there in the minute.
Samuel's office, moments later.
Kevin.
His young sales manager stands uneasily in the doorway.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Goldstein.
Kevin, I had a word with Mangus down there, and the order book is practically empty. I can't imagine what you and your crew have been up to these past few weeks.
With all due respect, Mr. Goldstein.
Now, please spare me the platitudes, Kevin. Your sales team is abysmal. They couldn't close a deal if their life depended on it. And what's happening with the O'Callaghan's down in Cork? Any progress?
I've tried, but there's no getting through to him.
Well, what exactly have you tried?
Well,
You've what? Have you phoned the man?
he won't take my calls.
So, have you gone down and visited him in person?
I didn't think there was any point as he won't take my calls.
I see. You didn't see the point. So have you written to him? Have you sent him samples?
I'm telling you, he won't budge. Stubborn as an old goat, that fella.
Here, hand over everything you have on it.
Kevin hands over the file. Samuel leafs through it.
Stubborn. I'll show him stubborn.
The children's school, Stratford College, same afternoon. Roisin, Ben and their friends gather by the school gate. Roisin takes Ben's hand to cross the street.
Over here! Darlings, over here!
Isabel, the epitome of cool, in sunglasses, hipster pants and pointy leather boots, stands beside her red racing Mini.
Mummy, I didn't know you were coming.
Yeah, I thought we were walking home.
Well, not any longer. We're going on a little adventure to Dublin.
Your mother drives a racer.
Goes 100 miles an hour.
That is so cool.
See you tomorrow, Esther.
Bye, Roisin.
Esther unenthusiastically slips into her mother's old Morris Minor, parked behind Isabel's Mini.
Darling, about this morning, yeah? You know what I'm like before my coffee, don't you?
It's okay, Mummy. I know. Dunleary Pier, late afternoon. Isabel, Roisin and Ben, their faces smeared with ice cream, run along the sand after Goldie. Isabel picks up a branch, throws it into the water. Goldie swims in after it. The children squeal with delight. O'Callaghan's shop, Cork, the same day. Samuel glances up at the large overhead awning. O'Callaghan's fine furnishings since 1852. The proprietor,
Mr. O'Callaghan?
overweight, in a dated suit, straightens merchandise behind the counter.
I'm Samuel. Samuel Goldstein from Gold & Sons, Dublin. I've come down to pay you a personal visit.
Could have saved yourself the trouble. I've told your man Kevin there that we have no call for what ye have to offer.
Samuel walks over to a display bed, bounces up and down, feels under the cover and squeezes the mattress.
Mr. O'Callaghan, if I may be so bold, what you have here is plain old-fashioned lumpy filler. We are the first in the country with the latest technology in foam mattresses. The shops, hotels, hospitals, they're all ordering it. It's the wave of the future. Surely you don't want to be left behind.
I wouldn't care if the Taoiseach himself was sleeping on one of your new fandangled mattresses. But let me put it to another way for you, Mr. Goldman. I'm a Cork man, through and through, and we're not in the habit of doing business with ye people. Am I making myself clear?
Samuel responds in fluent Gaelic.
Raboom the water, Egortic, Sablian, Nigel, August Hocht. We are Irish, through and through, as you put it yourself. I would expect a businessman of your calibre to welcome the opportunity to turn a profit no matter who was offering it to you. What's more, I'll extend an additional 20% discount on your first order. What do you say?
I say you just saved yourself a deal, boy.
Roisin's bedroom, night. Samuel slips in and surveys a sleeping Roisin. He leaves a new copy of Black Beauty on her nightstand. Ben's nursery. Samuel watches his son sleeping and deposits a large picture book at the end of his bed. Master bedroom. Isabel is propped up in bed reading Breakfast at Tiffany's. Goldie stretched out lengthwise beside her.
A very good result today, is he? We nailed the O'Callaghan order, finally.
Oh, that's good.
Have you seen my blue suit? The one with the pinstripe.
Hmm?
My blue suit.
I gave it to Maisie,
Who's Maisie?
the traveller. The same woman that's been coming around every month for the last 3 years.
It's a wonder she doesn't come more often. That's the kind of haul she gets. Do you have any idea how hard I have to work to buy a suit like that?
You really think I look like Audrey Hepburn?
What?
Audrey Hepburn, the actress, you used to tell me you looked like that.
What has that got to do with my suit?
Oh, forget the suit, you needed a new one anyway.
Just like that. Oh, it's so easy for you. Actually, I think you're prettier than she is.
Sitting room, next day. Roisin is dressed up in a bowler hat, oversized man's suit, bow tie, and her father's dress shoes.
That's not another one of my suits, is it?
Oh, never mind, hold on. Never mind, dear. Off you go. There we go. You look just like Charlie Chaplin. All you need is a walk, and I'll show you. Here we go. Like this. Come on. Here we go.
I don't want to. I look stupid. Everyone else is going as Queen Esther.
And that's exactly why you'll win. You'll be the only Charlie Chaplin there.
But it's a Purim party.
And what's a Purim party?
The Jewish party?
A fancy dress party. Come on. That's it. A bit of a walk. Lovely tickles. Come on, around.
Stratford College, morning. Isabel's racing mini pulls up outside the school gates.
I don't want to go in. They'll all laugh at me.
You're totally ridiculous. Darling, you look fantastic.
I don't look fantastic. I look like an old man.
Esther Esther and two other girls pass the car, resplendent in their Queen Esther gowns. They glance through the window and convulse in laughter.
But don't you give those girls another thought. They won't be laughing in a few hours, I can assure you.
School auditorium. Parents are seated in rows. Hava Nagila blasts from the speakers. The head teacher,
Mrs. Rado.
stands on stage, jotting notes as the children file past. There are Queen Esthers of every size, shape, and hue, followed by a group of boys dressed as Haman or Mordecai.
That's it! Come on! Everybody needs to see, darling, quickly! Come back again. Look happier.
Hagsemer. Parents, again this year we had a splendid brim party. As always, a wonderful selection of costumes. We had many beautiful Queen Esthers. We have evil Hamans. Oh. And we have the wise Mordecai. But of course, there can only be one winner. This year, the best costume prize goes to Charlie Chaplin. A Bobby winner.
Gold and Sons factory. Isabel and Roisin troop through the factory floor to the amazement of Mangus and his workers. Roisin carries a gold trophy in the shape of Queen Esther.
Afternoon, Mrs. Goldstein. Is that Charlie Chaplin you have with you?
Oh, it is indeed Mangus. First prize at the costume party today. Is Mr. Sammy in?
Yeah, go up here and be thrilled.
Samuel's office.
I won, Daddy. I won first prize.
You did. Congratulations, Pet. What did you win?
I won an Esther.
An Esther. I see. That's lovely.
Oh, she was marvellous, Sammy. You should have seen those girls and their mummies. The shock on their faces.
Oh, I'm sure I'll hear all about it in Shivaun tomorrow.
Lennox Street Synagogue. Next morning. Samuel, Isabel, Roisin and Ben enter a small doorway. A blue Star of David hangs overhead. They climb a dark, ramshackle staircase. Isabel pulls her white linen coat close to avoid contact with the walls.
I swear I take my life into my hands every time I come into this godforsaken place.
Shh, Izzy. They'll hear you.
What can they hear? They're all half dead.
The synagogue, a former bedroom, is packed with worn wooden benches. A lopsided ark leans against the back wall. Men in discoloured prayer shawls rock back and forth. Samuel and Ben join Chaim in the front row. Isabel and Roisin slip behind the mechitza, a dirty white curtain separating the men from the women, and take their seat in front of Rachel,
Mrs. Feinberg.
an old-world Jewess in surgical stockings and a lopsided wig, turns from her prayer.
Good Shabbos, Isabel.
Likewise, Mrs. Feinberg. Mrs. Feinberg.
I knew your mother, Sophie. What a wonderful woman.
Rachel and Chaim's house. Samuel's brother,
Nathan?
His English wife,
Gladys.
and their daughter,
Sadie.
sit across from Samuel, Isabel, and Roshan. Ben is perched awkwardly on Rochel's lap. Chaim gulps a glass of lemon tea, shtetl style, picking up sugar cubes, placing them in his mouth, and slurping the liquid through them.
Marka?
The maid launches into action, picking up the lesser soiled paper napkins, dusting them off, folding them, and tucking them into the sideboard for next week.
You know what I say? We's not found that, isn't that bad, Kinder?
Chaim's hearing aid starts a high-pitched whining.
Dad, your hearing aid is acting up.
What's that? Speak up.
He said your hearing aid. It's making an awful racket. You need a new one.
What's wrong with this one? It's only 7 years old. Good as new.
It's not working. That's what's wrong with it.
The phone rings.
Marka, answer the phone quick. Could be important.
It's Teresa. It's for Mrs. Isabel.
What's the matter, Isabel? Who's dying?
Why does someone always have to be dying in this family?
Well, just look at her. What is it, Isabel? No. It's Goldie. Goldie who? My dog. Baruch Hashem, that Goldie. I thought it was something important.
Ma.
Always so much fuss over a dog.
Ma! Come on, children. Get your coats.
Fern Hills, garden, night. Samuel, Isabel, Roshin, and Ben, formally dressed, stand solemnly in front of a raised mound of earth. Samuel, wearing a yarmulke, rifles through a Hebrew prayer book.
Isn't there something in there for a dog?
I can't find anything.
Can't we just say Kaddish?
I don't suppose it would do any harm. Ishkadal, Ishkadal, Shimei Rabba.
Fern Hills, a few evenings later. Isabel sits at her dressing table in her nightgown, pulling absently on a cigarette. Propped in the corner is a family photo in which she holds a beautiful, dark-haired little girl in her lap. Samuel beside them carries baby Roshin. In the kitchen, Teresa serves dinner. Roshin and Ben are unusually quiet.
Have you called Isabel down?
I have, Mr. Goldstein. I'm up to calling her twice now.
It's just like with Emma.
Who's Emma, Daddy?
She was our older sister. She died before you were born.
Such a tragedy. A cherub, an angel child she was.
Hush!
Sure, Mr. Ray will be arriving in a few days. That'll soon cheer the missus up.
I hope it does.
Isabel's father's flat, a few mornings later. Resolutely British, dashing and refined, is sitting on a couch in a small flat. He is dressed in a bowler hat and cashmere coat. Although blind since his 30s, he wears glasses and acts as if fully sighted.
Mrs. May.
His long-serving housekeeper puts on her hat and coat.
I've enjoyed every minute of the last 12 years working for you, Mr. Jacobs. You're a gentleman and a scholar, what your people call a mensch. I'm so sorry to be leaving you now, especially as you've not been feeling well. But you need more care than I can give you.
And there's no need to fret, Mrs. May. I couldn't have asked for more.
He fishes in his pocket, extracts an envelope, and extends it to Mrs. May.
This is for you, Mrs. May. A small token of appreciation for all the years of service.
You're too kind, Mr. Jacobs. Too kind.
The doorbell rings.
Henry!
Pop's English chauffeur appears in full uniform.
Morning, Gav. All set? Ready for the big trip?
Ready as I'll ever be, Henry.
In the doorway, Pop stalls, raises his hand to the mezuzah affixed to the top right corner. He traces its etched Hebrew lettering, then draws his fingers to his mouth and kisses them. Roisin's bedroom, same time. Isabel and Teresa make up a double bed, set up a small pull-out bed beside it, lay out towels and toiletries at the sink.
Why do I have to share my room?
Because, Roisin, your Pop is not well. You know he's coming to stay with us until he gets better.
Yeah, but why my room?
Well, where else? In the back? Oh, that's right. For your grandfather in a box room, and you keep this big one to yourself. Besides, Teresa sleeps in the back room when she stays over. And Pop can't be alone, you know that.
But why do I have to sleep on the fold-out? It's too small for me.
Or would you rather the floor? Look, it's not my fault that you're such a large child.
Sitting room. A little while later, Isabel peers anxiously out the window. The Rolls Royce pulls up. Henry opens the back door. 2 feet, clad in beautifully polished black leather shoes, emerge, followed by glimpses of a camel-haired coat, and finally, Pop himself.
Oh, is it? We're going to take very good care of you, Pop.
I know you will, darling.
You'll be sharing Roisin's room. She's very generously given up her bed.
Oh, it's very kind of you.
I have to sleep on the floor.
Oh, she was delighted to do it. Come on, then. Come on. Say hello to your grandfather.
And, who do you look like, Ben? Your mummy or your daddy?
They look like me.
Good answer, young man.
Isabel and Roisin begin to unpack Pop's porcelain figures, silver cutlery, and cake trays.
Pop sure has a lot of old junk.
Now, you be very careful with that old junk. It's irreplaceable.
Roisin's bedroom. Isabel guides Pop around the room. She leads him to the wardrobe, steering his hands to his ties, cufflinks, tie pins, shirts, all in their appropriate compartments, then over to the bed.
There's no trouble having you here. You know that, don't you, Papa?
I know that, darling. It's just that since Nana died, I'm used to living on my own. You know, doing things for myself.
I know. But I want to take care of you. What have you done?
I didn't mean to. It was an accident. It just fell.
You stupid... Stupid girl! That was Nana Sophie's favourite dish. Fine way to welcome your grandfather. Now you go right upstairs now and tell him you are sorry.
Is that you, Roisin?
How did you know?
I heard your footsteps. Don't fret about the dish, darling. Things don't mean nearly as much as they once did. I've had everything and lost everything, and gotten it all back again.
But you can't get the dish back. It's broken.
I have it all stored in here. And I keep Nana Sophie in here.
Dining room that night. Pop, Roisin and Ben are seated at the Shabbos table, all dressed up. The challah is covered with an embroidered silk cloth. The silver wine goblet filled, the chopped liver, pickles and gefilte fish laid out on Pop's fancy wares.
I can't imagine where she could have gone. Doesn't she know we have to light the candles before sundown? Oh, what kind of example is she setting for the children?
Setting examples was never Isabel's strong suit.
Be that as it may, we can't wait a minute longer. Roisin, go ahead and light the Shabbos candles. There's a good girl.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Idishanu B'mitzvotav Lehedanik Nishel Shabbat.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Papa. I'm in trouble, am I? I just couldn't resist. I bought you all such lovely gifts.
Well, Shabbos is definitely meant to be a special occasion. We'll best leave the gifts until after dinner.
Samuel fills the Kiddush cup with wine.
May we begin?
Oh, please don't let me keep you waiting.
Roisin's bedroom, night. Pop sits on the bed in his paisley silk pyjamas. He feels for the bottle of Buckfast wine on his nightstand and pours himself a glass. He picks up a pack of Players and lights a cigarette.
How do you know where things are?
Well, I feel my way around.
When did you go blind, Pop?
Ah, now that's a long story.
I love the story.
Begin fantasy. Open field. Death. A younger Pop stands in front of a group of soldiers practicing drills.
Yes, it was during the war. I was a drill sergeant in the British Army. Then just after my 32nd birthday, I started to lose my sight, first at the edges of my eyes.
Rows of soldiers perform drills. The edges of the frame become blurry, dreamlike.
What I could see grew smaller and smaller.
The frame shrinks to a sliver, a dozen soldiers becoming a solitary soldier.
But I continued teaching the drills from memory.
Younger Pop stands at attention in front of his soldiers.
Slow, ups, squat will retire, don't. Look at me, Wilkins, look to your front. Squat will retire, how about, turn.
The soldiers turn. Roisin, making up the rear, turns with them.
By the left, quick, march, left, 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 right, left.
The soldiers march. Roisin appears behind them and falls into line, vigorously stomping her feet and pumping her arms. End fantasy.
And that's a story for another day. Now it's time to sleep, young lady. Good night, my beautiful bandit.
Good night, Pop.
From across the hallway, Pop catches the sounds of Isabel and Samuel arguing. Sitting room, next morning. Pop, dressed for shul, waits for Henry. Roisin, in a brand new hat and coat, clutches a prayer book.
You sure they'll be okay? She's never gone out with him alone.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Samuel. They're going 3 miles down the road to the synagogue, not to climb Kilimanjaro. Stop panicking.
That'll be Henry now.
Was it the footsteps, Pop?
You're a very bright girl, you know that.
There you go.
Ah, it's fine, Henry. My granddaughter has this one. Now, here, Rosaline. Take my arm. The other, yes, just like that. Now, when I reach a curve or a crossing, I want you to press once for up and twice for down. Let's try. That's right, yes.
Inside the moving Rolls Royce.
Synagogue coming up on your left, Gap?
No, another 40 feet or so, Henry. Just heard the boats along the canal, so we're not quite there yet.
Those ears of yours have X-ray vision.
Practice, Henry. Years of practice.
Pop, you know how you called me a beautiful bandit last night?
Yes, darling, of course.
Well, how do you know I'm beautiful if you can't see me?
I don't need to see with my eyes to know that you are beautiful.
Adelaide Road Synagogue. Roisin gazes in awe at the wood-beamed ceilings, stained glass windows, and row upon row of men covered in prayer shawls.
And now, my seat is at the front, right behind the bimmer. Do you think you could leave me there?
I think so. But aren't I supposed to be upstairs with the women?
Nobody will mind if you stay downstairs. Besides, without you, how would I find my place in the sit-up?
Master bedroom, afternoon. Isabel stares at her reflection in her dressing table mirror. A makeup case and a sheet of canvas are laid out in front of her. Dipping her fingers into the makeup, then scraping them across the canvas, she recreates an astonishing likeness in her own image.
Are you busy, darling?
Oh, no, not really. I was painting.
Painting. What?
Just a silly self-portrait. Come, I'll show you.
Ah, yes. You were always such a creep. humiliated, child. You must have gotten that from your mother.
No, I miss her, Papa.
I know, darling. I miss her too. You remind me so much of her. Izzy?
Yes.
How are you? Really?
Yes. What do you mean?
Are you happy?
Everything's okay. I'm just highly strung. Isn't that what you always say?
Isabel, I know you. I see you. I can feel when things are not right.
Yes, well, as I told you, Papa, everything's fine.
You see,
All right. You want to know? I feel like I'm in a black hole. I think wrong things, bad things. I hate Sammy and his old suits. I hate Chaim and his stupid hearing aid, that dirty synagogue. Rochel, her milk like her Fleischig. Her kosher this, her kosher that. I hate my hair, I hate my clothes, my voice. I hate it all.
it's okay, Izzy. It's okay.
You know, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. I'm a bad person. I'm an awful mother.
Izzy, you are kind and warm and funny and full of life. I wish you could see what I see.
You don't see everything, Papa. You don't know. Emma was my fault.
Emma, how do you mean, darling?
She cried so much, she wouldn't stop. And
Izzy, Emma was very ill. She had pneumonia.
But if I hadn't hit her, she wouldn't have been...
That, Izzy, don't talk to yourself. You did the very best you could. Emma knows you love her.
Go, you go and rest.
I can sit with you for a little while if you like.
Yes, no, I'll be fine. Really, I will.
You know, you can talk to me any time, don't you? Isabel, there's nothing you could ever say or do that would make me love you any less. You understand that?
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Master bedroom that evening. Isabel sits on the bed in her bra and panties, holding the family photo in her lap.
Isabel? You're not dressed.
I can't stop thinking about it. And what if I lose property?
Come now, Izzy. Don't upset yourself. Ed is doing fine. Let's get ready for the dance. You'll show off your new gown.
You know, I don't feel like sitting around with a bunch of old fuddy-duddies.
But Izzy, you can't go on my own.
All they do is talk about pillows and mattresses.
But the whole industry will be there.
You're always so concerned about how things look. You know, how about how I feel?
Of course I care about how you feel. How about this? I'll take you all to Malahide this next weekend. Now, 2 whole days. No business calls, no dictaphone. Just me, you, the children, and the fresh air will do wonders for Pop. What about that?
Sitting room, night. Pop feeds Ben with a spoon but misses his mouth.
You'll be all right for a few hours, won't you, Papa?
Well, everything's under control here. No need to worry.
I can see that. Ben, come here and let me wipe your face. You look like you've dipped your head in a feeding trough.
That was Pop's fault. Couldn't find my mouth.
We'll be fine. O'Sheen can take care of us. Now really, what's the worst that can happen? You two go off and have yourself a good time.
Hotel ballroom, night. The annual Furniture Manufacturers Dinner Dance is in full swing. A show band plays while couples jive across the floor. Samuel and Isabel sit with a group at a large table. A waiter approaches with champagne. Isabel knocks hers back and immediately signals for another.
Go easy on the bubbly now. No point in overdoing it.
The band launch into a Celtic version of The Twist.
Samuel. I've been meaning to come over all evening. And this must be your beautiful wife.
Tom, Riley, isn't it? From Navan.
Yeah, that's the one. Navan Antique Furnishings.
Isabel Goldstein.
My eyes adored you begins to play.
Mel?
Now there's the man I've been looking for.
It's good to see you, Seamus. Good to see you.
Well, Mel?
I have to tell you, those mattresses you have to send down have flown off the floor like hotcakes they've gone.
That's very good news indeed, Seamus. Very good news.
I was wondering now, if you were to increase the orders by, say, 20%, what's the best you could do for me?
20%?
Well, what do you say? It's business I'm offering you.
Sorry, Seamus. Of course, we'll work up the figures.
Samuel's green Mercedes outside Fern Hills a few days later.
No, come on, you promised. No phone calls, no files, no work. And I hope you left that bloody dictaphone at home. It's like an appendage always attached to your wrist.
I'm here, aren't I?
Can we go swimming, Daddy?
We'll see, Ben. We'll see. I'm not a great fan of the water. I went out in a boat once and a group of boys almost drowned, and I've steered clear of it ever since.
Oh, well, that's a fine thing to tell your son, scare him half to death. No point in asking your father about anything about nature, Ben. His idea of camping out is setting up in a nice hotel lobby.
Let's lighten the mood, shall we? We're on holiday.
He switches on the radio to Cliff Richard's We're All Going on a Summer Holiday.
We're all going on a summer holiday.
Louder!
We're working for a
week or two.
Fun and laughter on our
Summer holiday.
Da-da-da-da-da, me and you. For a week or two.
Manor Hotel lobby.
Oh! Sammy, look! Riding on the beach. Come on, let's book now.
There's no rush.
What do you mean there's no rush? You'll be back at the office before we know it. What's there to wait for?
Well, I was thinking maybe I could get a lesson first.
What you do is get on the horse, you dig your heels in, and you let them know who's boss. That's all there is to it.
Easy for you to say.
Oh, Sammy, please, promise.
All right, but I'm warning you. If I get injured, there'll be no one left to take care of things.
What can possibly happen on a beach?
Why oh my, look, lightning will strike.
Beach at Manor later. The wind picks up, sand flies. Isabel's horse breaks into a gallop. Samuel's horse follows suit, veering towards the water and plunging in.
Izzy, I told you I didn't like the water. I'm gonna drown. You know I can't swim.
Well, now would be a bloody good time to learn!
Manor Hotel, laneway. Isabel heads back to the hotel astride her horse. Samuel follows, lopsided in the saddle, soaked to the skin. As they approach the paddock, Isabel notices the rod-straight back of a man in exquisite riding gear, cantering effortlessly round the ring.
Ah, it's you, Isabel. What a lovely surprise. And yourself, Sam.
Hello, Riley.
A wonderful day for a ride, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. We've just come from the beach.
Go for a swim on a horse.
I sing over. Maybe I'll catch you at dinner.
Maybe.
Hotel reception.
Mrs. Goldstein, I have something for you.
Oh, really? What is it?
One of the guests asked me to hand this envelope to you.
To me? Which gets?
He asked me not to say, just that I should give it to you when I saw you.